Yeah.
Let's do it. We're live, bitch. Welcome to Dad Meet. Sid the Kid, welcome, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a very serene episode, I think.
Yeah, you partied out,
I'm
man?
feeling serene. I am partied out, dude. But I must party on.
You should. And, man, look at these fucking killer hats that Tim had made up.
I'm so proud of myself.
Fucking Wayne's World Dad Meet hats.
Thank you, John McKeever, for the idea.
Yeah, it's
Man.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
He came back here. He's like, it's pretty alarming that you're listening to Mac Miller by yourself.
Oh yeah, dude. I walked in and Mike was sitting in the dark listening to Mac Miller, which is the most I'm getting back on perks shit I've ever seen in my life.
Meanwhile, 3 minutes later, he hands me a fucking brand new flat brim hat. So, I don't know.
Damn.
Cat's in the cradle.
Yeah.
The hat's in the cradle.
The ghost of Perksman's future.
Did you hesitate to give him the hat? Did you almost not give him the hat because of what you saw?
That's a gateway. That's
Yeah.
a talisman. That's a perk talisman.
Dude, giving a wigger a flat brim is like saying Beetlejuice 3 times.
Yeah. I should have checked that hat for fentanyl before I gave it to you. Man, I'm sorry.
Dude, I feel like $1 million. I feel like I just did a ton of cocaine.
How much did you actually do?
Just the Sunday's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get off psychedelics, dude. They don't work anymore.
What?
Yeah, I did too many psychedelics and they stopped working.
Oh,
I didn't know
wow.
this was true.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta dry out. I feel like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I would be a little upset if I did that to myself.
Yeah,
Because I'm having too much fun with psychedelics right
Yeah,
now.
I'm partying too much. But I'm working hard. I gotta play hard.
Mm-hmm.
Or the balance will shift and I'll spin out.
You spent the weekend in the Wigger Mecca, Wildwood, New Jersey.
Oh God, dude! You want a recommendation? You want a reverse recommendation? Don't do acid on the Wildwood Boardwalk. It's the worst. I mean, it would have been worse if it actually worked, but since it was like barely working, all I could focus on was just all the facial deformities. It was facial deformity weekend on the Wildwood Boardwalk. It was just like kids with crazy heads and like parents where it's like, how did you two even meet? It was in like, were you both working at the same jail? And eating pizza surrounded by these people. I was just like, oh, what am I? That was the hardest part. When I looked around Sam's Pizza and it was just nothing but like crazy pointy sideburns and rat-faced ladies.
Wildwood is mutant Hawaii. it is truly, it's fucked up on its
Hawaii
own.
me.
It attracts the most fucked up people, and it is.
I know it's like that normally too, but I'm telling you, dude. I guess it was because it's
This is October now, dude. This is a different.
It's off season. It's dirtball race week. This weekend's the Race of Gentlemen, which is where a bunch of like greaser dudes show up and race their Harleys and like shitty old cars on the beach. And like, I know like a lot of dudes like enjoy racing, but when you actually like kind of underground race, you are one of the most fucked up people statistically on the planet. You're like a skinny dude in like a fucked up like leather jacket with like the elbows always kind of bent so you can like be in racing position. Just like that weird brown tan on a white, you know what I mean? That like that construction tan. And just, fat as the day is long.
Wow.
Fucked up ladies. One of the funniest things was this dude was like mad at his girlfriend. He was like, "No, babe." And my sister very loudly said to my daughter, she said, "Don't ever let a dude that short talk to you like that."
Dude, your sister might be the funniest Butterly, no offense.
Everyone says it.
You're the funniest dude on the planet, but man, she might be the funniest one in the family.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I feel like I'm handicapped.
So wait, what did you decide your deformity was?
Oh, God, I don't know. Well, I did wreck my face on the ground, so I do look kind of fucked up. But,
He's got Down's dick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got a big red nose on the end.
It's got an extra homo zone. Gay.
Tight. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't figure out my deformity.
That's what we should do. We should do like a fucking Wildwood Wizard of Oz where everybody goes to find their deformity.
Yeah. I have my left arm is 1.5 inches shorter than my right arm.
I never noticed that.
Sid was born without the extra bone.
Damn, you have white arm?
Yeah, I have one white arm.
Bitch.
And that's funny too because I'm also white-handed.
There's no easy way to tell you this, but your son's got Honky's elbow. Fuck, man.
What's yours?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Septum.
Yeah, I don't have anything truly fucked up on me. What did I have burned off a couple summers ago? I had a couple skin tags burned off 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it.
Yeah, I might get some varicose veins. I was thinking about popping some varicose veins and hitting the boards.
Man, you would look good with prescription socks.
I mean, dude, every woman on that beach looks like just purple spaghetti. Just purple spaghetti in an Ursula costume, where they get those big bitch bathing suits, where it just looks like a trash bag with legs cut out, and they just show vein on the sand.
Dude, Wildwood should have a running of the Ursulas every summer. Actually, that should be November's special date.
Yeah. So yeah, this weekend was the race of gentlemen, which turns out white, racing their fucking like mini monster trucks and Harleys and shit on the sand and just shitting up the joint. Man, it sucked.
Was Ocean City any better? I had to imagine it was.
Yeah, Ocean City was like, this is how I would put it. In Wildwood, everyone knows that the airbrush T-shirt game is off the chain, right? You know, take me to your dealer, Pablo Escobar, and it was Bart Simpson with like a mustache and like cocaine and stuff. Woo! Yeah, I tried to get my daughter to get that one, but she just wanted like some knockoff anime shit.
Dude, throw my ashes in that store.
Yeah, for real. The other one was there was a pair of shorts and it said "all you can eat" on the back.
What?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But then you go to Ocean City and all their airbrush is like, I love my mom and stuff like that. So that's the difference. Sid's a big Ocean City guy.
I saw him on the boardwalk randomly this summer.
Yeah.
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 A lot of full custody dads in Ocean City.
Yeah, man, that's it's like the major leagues. Wild was like minor league custody.
Yeah, and but here they even the playing field in Ocean City they had a Jeep festival on the boardwalk.
Oh my God.
So everyone was showing off their Jeeps in a Jeep competition. They just had them parked on the boardwalk and you walked by and I guess voted on them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They just all waving at each other.
Bro, you wouldn't understand. I want to be a Jeep guy so fucking bad. Do you know how often I think about custom Jeeps? Every day. Every time I see a custom Jeep, I'm like, fuck.
Tim, I saw a custom Jeep today. What do you call it when they write shit across the top of the windshield? Does that have any special name?
Puerto Rican? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy had, for some reason, Jeff Daniels written across the top of his fucking Jeep.
That's weird.
Yeah. None of us understand.
Yeah.
It's not even a Jeep thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a couple of things that there's a couple of barriers I'm going to have to cross to get into Jeeps. Number one, I'm going to have to get way more into Punisher. Number two, I think I got the secret. You got to get 2 Jeeps so you can lose one in the divorce. And then, I mean, obviously Blue Lives Matter is a big thing.
I was just going to ask you, like, are you even allowed to get regular ass Punisher, or do you have to? Is like
it's got to have
Blue
like
Lives
the,
Matter custom? Right
the
now.
blue line
or stock. I mean,
yeah. Damn, it's crazy. Jeeps are like teen girl bedrooms for adult men. It's just like all kinds of stickers and like custom paint and shit and like. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a dog and candy for chicks that have a little bit of hair on their pussy.
What the fuck?
You gave me this hat, dude.
Let's focus on the dudes. Let's focus on the Jeep guy. Yeah. Posters of all the dudes you like on the back.
Yeah. I'm like too absorbed in this knife right now. I need to
Club
put it
names, like Jeep club names.
Mm.
Yeah.
What other cars have clubs like that?
The Iroc Z.
Oh yeah, that's definitely for like Jack 23-year-olds who hit their girlfriends.
Oh, for sure. In the car at a high speed.
Do you remember what they used to say that Iroc stood for? Italian retard out cruising.
No, I forgot that one.
Yeah, dude, some Greek kid got an Iroc when I was a kid, and he was so proud of it. And then somebody in the neighborhood hit him with, you know what that stands for, right? Italian retard out cruising. And like you could just see his Greek soul leave his body.
You know what Pontiac stands for?
What's that?
I'm not going to say it. Do you know it?
No.
Sid, do you know what Pontiac stands for?
I do not.
Oh, come on. I'm the only one that knows this. You could look this up in the encyclopedia. Actually, just look it up. I'm not going to say it.
Tell me, dude. I want to know.
It's poor. Oh, man.
Is it what I think it is?
Dubs, you know what it is?
You know what? You know this? Man, it
I'm saying this. I'm referencing this. I'm not saying this is a funny joke, but when I was a kid, they said Pontiac stood for poor old N-word thinks it's a Cadillac.
Wow. Jeez.
It didn't even make sense to me when I heard it. I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, that's racist.
Wow.
I could see Eddie Murphy saying that in the 80s. I feel that vibe.
Yeah, I should. That actually probably ended up in the chat without me having to say it.
I could also picture Nick Nolte saying that in the 80s. It's in the 48 Hours outtakes. You know what that stands for, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I was. I feel like it's destined for me to tell this story. So last night, I saw a woman, like a domestic situation outside of my house, and then the cops showed up, and I completely backed the blue.
Okay.
Yeah, because the shit was just out
I was
of pocket.
parking my Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just all of a sudden there was this altercation outside of the house. I look out, and this dude is he's pulling himself out of the driver's side of the car, pulling himself, and like something's pulling him in.
Oh, no.
And then you hear this woman saying, "That's my stuff, get off my stuff." And he like finally pulls himself away and starts walking up the hill. She turns the corner and she crawls. First she crawls out of the car and tries to stop him. Then she crawls back into the car, drives it up the hill, and then they got out and were like scuffling. Like she got out, tried to like stop him.
It's an Italian fire drill.
Yeah.
When you get out of the red light and beat up your girlfriend in the street.
Yeah, it was an Iroc scene that they were stopped. So she stops and she's like making this whole big scene, and he keeps walking, right? Because clearly they're on drugs and he's taking the drugs.
Oh,
you know,
that motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
Classic.
But he's also, they're making such a big scene. The cops are definitely going to be called, so he can't stay here and be here with her. He's got to separate himself from this.
Yeah.
You know, he's got drugs to preserve. So she pulls her. I'm walking up the hill. She grabs her own back of her head and like pulls herself down to the ground, like she's trying to like
rip hair out.
I mean, I think she was just trying to give herself an injury from a scuffle.
Yeah.
I'm kicking my ass. You just reference that recently?
I don't remember.
Yeah. What was that from?
I think it's on. What was that from? Liar Liar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. And
I
then
think it was Zach. But good.
so she starts laying on the ground. There's like these wires that are attached to a telephone pole, like they're like cable wires that they're gonna do something with, but they haven't yet, you know. And she starts wrapping herself in these wires like a marionette, and she's screaming like, "Come back, come back!" And then she like she can't. She has no arm strength. Like she holds that for like 3 seconds and just starts letting go and falls down. And she's laying on the ground and she's just like, "Please come back!" Like he can't hear her at this point. She's just being a woman.
What do you think this was, coke or heroin?
I think it was coke and alcohol.
Okay.
You know, and so at this point, I've been very descriptive about everything that's happened, but I haven't said anything about what they look like.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you both. What do they look like?
I'm gonna agree with Tim. Italian. He's skinny. She looks heavier than he is.
I could see a minority boyfriend in this situation, though.
Oh, that's a wild card. Well, I said Italian, so.
All right, so are you locking in?
I'm locking in with a skinny boyfriend, chubbier lady.
Okay, both Italian.
Both Italian, and the woman may be older.
Okay.
I'm going skinny white girl, maybe Hispanic boyfriend.
Actually, I did lock it, but let me call a lifeline. Danny Dubs.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to trust your judgment here. What do you think the boyfriend was?
What color was the boyfriend?
All right, white guy. We're locking it in.
Okay. So, and you're locked in at what?
Skinny white girl, Hispanic boyfriend.
Okay. It was a black.
It was
couple.
me and my wife. Black couple.
Black couple.
And the girl went down.
Yeah, but he's right.
She was
about
mixed.
No, she was definitely not mixed, unless she was like mixed with blacker. You know, so he was skinny. She was bigger than him, and she was also older than him.
Okay.
But it was a black couple.
Okay.
Right, and so she's on the ground and she's just like, please come back. And I'm like, I go up to her and I go, what do you need?
Uh-huh.
And she looks
Where
at
is
me.
this tone when you're at the movies?
That's funny because I was watching a movie at the time and I had to go deal with this shit.
Dude, when
Sid was like, bitch, get out the car!
Sid, when she called 911, did she have him on speaker?
So the first thing she says is like, don't call the cops. And I go, listen, I'm not going to call the cops, but I cannot guarantee you that somebody hasn't called the cops. You're in a neighborhood right now.
Right.
You're acting like this.
Yeah.
People are trying to watch movies, right? So she goes, no, nobody called the cops. Nobody called the cops. And she gets up and she starts walking to her car, which the door's open, the car's running.
Okay.
And she's like, nobody called the cops. Nobody called. And I'm like, she's drunk as fuck. She's out of her mind. And I don't know how to stop her.
Did you take her down?
I didn't take her. I start talking to her and just saying weird shit. I was just like, because I've learned to do that. When women are in like a tizzy, if you say something that only kind of makes sense, they have to make it make sense. So it freezes them. Right?
Oh, man.
So when she was walking.
Like when you rub an alligator's belly.
Yeah, basically.
He threw a towel over her eyes.
Did you grab her snout from behind?
The boyfriend duct taped it.
She tried to lady roll me into the car.
And so I just go, when you know, you know. And she was like, huh?
Excuse you.
She was like, she was like, huh? She stopped. And that, like, dude, that was the perfect amount of time because then the cops came around the corner, stopped at the car and everything, so didn't let her in. And so they're talking to her.
They're cleaning up the scene like, which one of you heroes confused this bitch?
So immediately, they know it's a domestic disturbance. And I'm walking up with her to the cops.
Oh.
I'm like, fuck, like, how do I fix my face in a way that they don't think I'm with her?
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I hit her.
Yeah. The cops showed up and I was like, I live in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And they were like, all right, cool. And they start talking to her. She's trying to get in her car now and go away, and they're not letting her get in because there is a knife on the passenger seat. And she smells like alcohol. It's like even the distance that I had from her, I could smell the alcohol. They're not letting her get in the car. So she starts screaming like, get off of me, get off of me. And like the cops are now in a weird situation because there's the whole neighborhood's out there.
They have to shoot her.
Basically, but they can't do it with all these fucking white witnesses. Like, dude, could you imagine being a cop in a situation where white people show up and you're like, I can't trust these people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's got to do.
That's what it is.
Dude,
right?
you're dealing with like a drunk black lady in an entirely white neighborhood where every door has a sign that's like, hate has no home here.
Yeah.
There's no minorities in the entire neighborhood.
She's literally on the Black Lives Matter block. It's insane.
Yeah.
Right? So the cops are they're dealing with her as best as they can. And they're trying to stop her from getting in the car, and that's why they're trying to restrain her, so they let her go. And they're like, listen, you smell like alcohol, there's a knife in your car, this whole thing was like, you're going to be detained at least until you tell us what your boyfriend's name is, which she wouldn't do. She wouldn't like tell her anything about the boyfriend. So
it starts with a D apostrophe. I'll give you that. You can figure out the rest.
Daraki. His name is Daraki Balboas.
And
what is your name, ma'am? Bullwinkle Scruggins Friggins.
Yeah, her name, she was calling herself, it was something Awnti-Freeze. But there were like multiple syllables before Awnti-Freeze, and but she was calling herself Tay.
Okay.
Right. So when she realized that this shit was about to escalate because of the stuff that they were finding, because there was like drug paraphernalia. They wouldn't say what drug paraphernalia, so I don't know. But there was drug paraphernalia.
I do love how black ladies shorten their names by picking one syllable from their name that sounds really good after. Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm wrong. That was her name. Her name was Paraphernalia.
Okay, nay. Par.
So she tries to she's like she's trying to get away. A cop restrains her, and she's like you can't be holding me. She's like, well, you're trying to get away. She's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, if I let you go, are you going to try to get away? And she's like, no. He let her go, and she starts.
She had her
trying
fingers
to get
crossed
away.
behind her back.
Yeah, for sure. So she goes to a person's house, which is like, she was across the street from choosing my house at this point.
Yeah.
Like if she would have went a little further, it would have been my house she went to. And she starts banging on the door, screaming, the cops are trying to kill me.
Cool.
Whoever they are, they burned that "hate has no home here" flag today.
Oh, for sure. Like I bet they definitely turned their Black Lives Matter sign around, and it's a "Back to Blue" sign on the back of it.
No.
So she's banging on the door, screaming, the cops are trying to kill me, and I'm like, what? The only way that I could help is I start filming it, right? And I'm saying, you're safe. I'm filming this. You're safe. And then some other black guy was walking by, clearly also an anime black, and he stopped and he started filming it too.
Okay.
Right. And now there's people just like yelling advice to her from the distance. You just hear people like,
Anime guy's like, hey, you should definitely check out Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's actually a pretty sick show once you give it a chance. I know it's for kids, but it actually holds up.
dude, it does
We're
have
safe.
it has an arc that adults can attach to.
What were people yelling?
German suplex.
No, they were like,
Okay, Tay.
so one woman was addressing her by name from the ether. Like, I have no idea. I never saw this woman, but you could tell she was coming from a distance.
Oh, no.
Possibly inside a house, but not at the window. Like, she was yelling from the wall. You know what I mean? And so one person was saying,
Run for it, Tay.
Yeah, dude. You got it. Dude, black sound travels like prayers. Like, they'll get to you.
yeah. It's she goes, just listen to him. Just cooperate for now. That's what she kept saying. Cooperate
pretty
for
good
now,
advice.
right?
Yeah.
And then another person somebody else was saying, don't let them make you do so. Like,
Rob Cruz said, grab his gun. Tay, grab his gun.
yeah. So it was conflicting. It was like it was a reasonable, and then like fucking
Like people were yelling numbers on prices, right?
basically.
Higher! Shoot him with his own gun. Lower.
$24.95.
So that's when I started filming. She starts to calm down, right?
Okay.
And but it's still going crazy, and all of a sudden, like we're talking to her, she's calming down, she's talking about where she wants to be taken to, because they're not going to let her take her car, and because her license is suspended, and she doesn't have
Officer, is there a
insurance.
Red Lobster nearby?
Any of them cars going to Six Flags?
So she's freaking out because she's realized. Because by the way, she should be arrested, and they're trying to just take her to a place.
Yeah.
Like, you take her to your mom's house, take her to your uncle's. She's given all these options. It's like, nah, I don't want to go there. Nah, I don't want to go there. And then all of a sudden, one of the police officers tell another police officer that they found the boyfriend in a location. Where was he?
He was hiding in a backyard.
I'm going to
Okay.
say Outback Steakhouse.
All right, Dubs, you got anything? Like, I mean, draw. Like, I'll give you a chance to re-answer too if you want to, but draw on everything you know from watching Cops and just absorb that for a second.
Actually, let me take that back. He was hiding under a child's pool.
Okay, that's actually a good Cops answer.
In a manhole.
Ooh, that's creative.
Yeah.
Saying laying flat behind bushes.
Laying flat behind bushes.
Yeah, you're all,
right.
you're all gonna kick yourself. They found him in a 7-Eleven.
Oh.
The one on Fayette Street.
Yeah, the classic location for after, like, everybody commits a crime and then tries to go blend in at a 7-Eleven. You know?
Yeah.
So these are Cops people. And so she starts going crazy. As she's going crazy, a car was driving past the intersection, trying to look at what was going on, veered off to the side, crashed into a parked car. So they were, like,
What color?
the person,
Driver. the Camry.
yeah, it was a Camry. It was she was a 16-year-old white girl.
Oh God.
Yeah. And so
Hate has no ride home here.
so now like the attention starts to get diverted.
Mm-hmm.
The cops leave the situation to go handle that.
Did that girl drive the car into the 7-Eleven now?
Yeah. The chick.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, classic woman in the situation where she should be arrested and possibly about to get arrested because she's escalating the situation. Half the cops leave. And you could see the change in her, that she was upset because she lost that much attention. It was fucking insane. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And at that point, you knew she was going to escalate this to something physical. It was insane. Like, she could have just went home with not even a fucking fine. They just wanted to get this bitch off the street. And now she's trying to fight the cops. So they fucking manhandled her into the car. And then...
did they do that thing where they had her hands behind her back and then they whip her head first into the side of the car? That's one of my favorite cop moves.
Yeah, they tried to, as gingerly as possible, get her into the car.
Wow,
with her resistance. It was a pretty wild spectacle to see. It was a fun night.
I feel like you're really painting a positive picture of these police officers.
I mean, guy, there's so much that there's so much details that I'm leaving out about how she was conducting herself to these police officers, where it was just like, at this point, it's just like, at one point I said to her, listen, you need to see what is happening. They are not arresting you. You could be arrested for this. You could be arrested for this. You could be fined for this. You're driving drunk with no license or insurance. You admit it to police officers. So the cop said, "Did you have anything to drink?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Stop talking."
I only had 2 Incredible Hulks. Is that against the law?
And so the way she's talking to a paramedic, and he starts hitting her with this.
She was
like,
still spitting out neon blue cocktail.
First of all, it was a red velvet cocktail.
That's Awnti-Freeze.
Hypnotic is Awnti-Freeze.
Oh my god. Wow.
Oh, found my new drink.
Wow.
Oh man.
I mean, they gotta name that drink then. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
How long have you been kicking around with Auntie?
I don't know, just
Damn.
came from the ether, like that black voice that Sid mentioned.
Dude, that was the biggest contribution to black culture I've seen in the last
thank
10
you, man.
years.
God, dude. You earned your brim today.
Wow. Beautiful work right there.
Thank you, buddy.
Man.
Yeah,
So you
so-
were saying that this has this changed how you think about the Sandra Bland case when you were texting me earlier. That actually didn't have that effect on me, Sid. I'm just checking. Yeah, that's what you said to me. And did you want to explain what you were talking about? Or?
Sid, you should be hired by police departments to do what you're doing. By the way,
Yeah, dude, I remember shit. This is exciting. This was like everything was
He's an expert
easily-
blitness.
So she goes, I had some beers, and I said, stop talking. And he goes, some beers, what, like had like one? You could probably have like one beer. And she's like, no, I had 3 more. Like, she's like, I was like, he got her. And I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, stop talking. You don't have to talk about any of that right now. And he goes, what about shots? She's like, she goes, I had like 3 or 4 shots.
oh my god.
Like so now I'm a little annoyed because that was multiple times.
She
that I
ignored
told
your
her,
legal advice.
Yeah.
dude, multiple times.
Ignored your counsel.
Now you have to like whisper, tell him the knife was driving.
So then they're like telling her they're gonna tow her car, and she's like, you can't legally do that. And I go, you don't have insurance, and you were driving your car. They can legally. That's a towable offense. And she was like, oh, thank you very much. I'm like, bitch, where were you 30 seconds ago when I was telling you to not incriminate yourself? You know, so she was crazy, and like they wanted to not arrest her, but she was just giving them too much, and it was just.
Yeah.
So they arrested her.
I mean, they struggled her into a car. I mean, I'm not going to fight somebody into a car and not give them all of the consequences I can.
Sid, would you consider opening up a tow business called Tow Up, which tows cars that are in this position of being impounded, and you tow them for half the price?
I mean, you guys would have to work with me.
Okay.
I couldn't do this by myself.
Okay.
It's I think that would be another good business for us.
Remember
us.
Awnti-Freeze?
Yeah.
That was a high point.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that would be another additional business to our moving business.
Oh, I forgot that.
Oh, R&R moving?
Yeah.
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 We just all going to be unemployed at the same time, and we'll be set.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got a head
That would be
start
so
on you
much
guys.
fun.
today.
We'll just get some LLCs.
Yeah, that might have been our first podcast that we all did together. We had the idea that we would start a moving business called RNR Moving Business. Wow.
You guess what the R&R
Forgot all
is
about
for.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, so this was fun.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Sid
yeah.
pointed out that I would be the N.
Yeah. So I was on this Good Morning Wilmington show, and I was like promoting the Dad Meat live show because that's what I was going to be on.
Hell yeah,
right?
man.
And so I was like trying to describe who Dad Meat was for
Oh, God.
as I was like I had to like edit on the fly because I couldn't just be like fat gay fat gay retards. So I had to figure out how to like say.
I would have said
Fat gay
Wilmingtonians.
Yeah, I feel like, dude, it was such a blur. I forget how I said it. So
Oh,
when it comes
God,
out,
no.
it comes out tomorrow, so we'll be able to see.
Oh,
but it
awesome,
was
man.
like that was a very fun, like that experience of trying to describe fat gay retards on the fly without any prep.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Um,
Yeah, don't forget.
that reminds me. Yes, if you go to souljoels.com this Friday, October 8th, our very first live podcast in Royersford, Pennsylvania. I cannot fucking wait.
We're gonna have some as of now very limited edition hats for sale.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got a killer lineup. We're doing a live podcast taping, and I mean, obviously, we're trying to make it as interactive as possible.
Fucking guard dog Del Calo.
Yeah.
Who knows who's going to show up too? I'll say that. And fucking Tubbs is going to be our live podcast guest.
Can you believe it,
that's
dude?
sick.
Can you imagine meeting a real life plumber? Wow, dude. Wow.
And two of the great things about Soul Joel's is bring your own chair and bring your own liquor.
Yeah, dude. Bring your own Awnti-Freeze.
Yeah, I might fall off the
Please.
wagon for some Awnti-Freeze.
Please, I better see Instagram pictures of you people with Awnti-Freeze.
Yeah.
Please,
Dude, let the
please bring
hypnotic
Awnti-Freeze.
flow.
Damn, that's so sick.
I'm getting fucked up on something and hypnotic. I don't know what the other is yet.
Dude,
but-
that's got to be the official drink of Dad Meat. Like any drink blue, that's Auntie
Now,
Freeze. Get
for
the
sure.
get
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah.
picks up.
I'm gonna get so fucked up that I'm gonna end the podcast early and just blast Primus. That's
Dude,
all.
there
That's
you
the
go,
only
man.
How
promise I'm
crazy
making.
would it be if Gatorade changed the name of his blue flavor to Auntie Freeze?
We'd
probably-
sue them on the spot.
Yeah.
We'd have
Well,
to.
we're going to make it, except they're going to spell it Gaytorade.
Wow.
So remember Auntie Freeze?
I once finished second in a spelling bee to an Indian gentleman.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's high praise.
The Indian gentleman who beat me about 15 years later, he was on the front cover of the Delco Times. What do you think happened?
Threw acid in his wife's face.
Probably that too, but DUI.
Oh man.
So I win.
Damn.
Yep.
I wonder if you try to
sliding
fight a
doors.
cop. The Indian dudes are polite when the police come.
As long as it's not a female cop, yes. Yeah, I can't wait for Friday night show. And then, what did I want to ask you? Oh, I wanted to ask you, have either of you ever been in a domestic dispute that required police assistance?
No.
I feel like the one time when me and Ainsley were arguing and I was throwing her keys, somebody should have called the cops.
It's crazy you mentioned that because I just shared something on Twitter, like probably 15 minutes ago, about Jamie throwing my keys on the roof.
Oh, I thought you threw the keys on the roof.
I thought I did too, but I had to clarify with her because I had vague memories. This was October 2nd, 2011. What had happened
Sounds pretty
was,
vague.
what had happened was we had been at a wedding, and at the time I was drinking, and it was an open bar, and I had about 15 Dr. Peppers. And I was just starting to get into a groove. On the dance floor, and then my wife said, "Let's go. Let's leave." She made me leave while I was fucking dancing, dude. Mm-hmm. I came home. I was in a rage.
How are you dancing?
Cutting rug, man. I'll do it at Soul Joel's.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
Okay.
But I was cutting a rug. Made me come home.
I was wondering if you were grinding.
No, none of that, no.
You're soloing.
I was with a group of people. I was fat girl dancing.
Yeah.
You know where you all just stand around a pocketbook and just dance in a circle?
Yeah.
So it was that. So my wife made us leave. We came home in protest. She had all of her bras in a laundry basket to be washed. I cut all of her bras in half.
One at a time or like with a sword?
No, one at a time. Very methodical. Yeah. And when
with what kind of scissors? It's not easy to cut a bra in half. That's dedication.
We had like
there's a learning
like
curve.
Sewing scissors.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
okay.
So I cut through all of her bras, and when she found out what I did, she took my keys and she threw them on the roof. So I had to put up a Facebook post asking if anybody had a 30-foot ladder I could use. Actually, no, I didn't ask if I could use it because I'm scared of heights. I asked if they could bring a 30-foot ladder, then go up on my roof to get my keys. But that did not require police attention. But
yeah. Yeah, the one that where I was with Ainsley, we were like in a parking lot of like a permit office, and there was like a field, and we were in this ridiculous argument, and I threw her keys into the woods, and then I went and found them and gave them back to her, and like took them back and threw them again, and this happened for I couldn't even tell you how many times it was. It was at least 20 minutes.
oh my god,
And it was long enough for a fat couple who was walking. There was like a loop that's a mile that like people walk for fitness. Mm-hmm. It was enough for them to walk and then come back around.
ooh,
It's how many times I was throwing these keys and going back and getting them and then throwing them again. It was just an insane scene. Like somebody should have fucking. It was dumb. It was dumb.
What made you stop?
My shoulder started to give out.
A neighbor came out and started filming. Don't answer that, Sid.
Yeah. I swear to God, my shoulder started to give out, and what was happening was I was trying to compensate by squeezing them harder, to like throw them, to like make sure I was still getting the strength out of it, and it was just like the act of it was just all causing me too
Damn
much
my
pain.
normal number of bones.
Yeah, I was so fucking mad.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah, and then she was just like doing that woman thing where she was just enjoying that a dude was freaking out in her honor, and she just kept giving me the keys. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Wow. So I love her.
Yeah, that's what's at the basis of every domestic dispute.
Yeah.
Now that my wife can defend herself, I think we could probably escalate things to a police intervention. Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty fun. If we just set like a no time limit, submission only until the cops show up, and they just fought on the lawn. That'd be cool. That'd be great. She could squirm now too. She's got a squirmer's
Got a
chance.
good wiggle.
Yeah, it's got a good wiggle going. If I coasted against her, you know what I mean? If I carried her a little bit, as boxers would say, we could definitely last until a cop showed up, for sure.
I'm gonna call Monty.
Yeah.
The next time I come over, I'm gonna excuse myself to take a shit. Then I'm gonna go to the bathroom and I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, if we put in a good camp, we could definitely stretch it out. That'd be sick.
Man, cops hate domestics.
Yeah, I don't blame them, man.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
because the woman was always like calling the cops, and the cops show up, and she's like, "Stop! Don't bother my boyfriend."
It's going to be a chaotic experience.
I had a family member.
That's how my uncle got shot. My uncle was a cop. He was responding to a domestic disturbance, and it was the Upper Darby.
Yeah.
And it was a dude who had warrants. He shot him when he answered the door.
Oh man, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So you might be right.
Dude, he's like, I ain't going to jail, but I also am not leaving the comfort of my own home. Like, dude, fucking leave.
Yeah.
You have warrants, the cops will come and leave.
Yeah.
Shoot the fucking cop.
I think that guy died in prison, too. So, terrible decision making all along.
Yeah, it's probably from terrible
Sid's
decisions.
recording like, do not shoot the cops. Why didn't you listen to me? White guy.
By the way, that was sound legal advice I was giving that chick.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think it was wasted breath.
It was.
That's all.
It was. She was like, again, they were cops people. She was destined to be like carried into a police car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was her only plan for the night.
Yeah, she was
And
on
whatever else happens.
sweatpants.
She couldn't decide what to eat,
yeah,
but she knew she was getting forced into a car by a police officer.
Sid, did her sweatpants have any writing on them?
nah, they were all black, but they're like kind of like bell bottomy at the bottom. They're like the tight spandex.
Oh, okay.
But not
flared
like the
velour
new-
sweatpants.
Not the new spandex. But they weren't even that fancy. They were cotton, but but they look like the flared velour ones, you know, and a wife beater
Wow.
that was so stretched out. Ansley from
Bad
a distance
bitch
thought it was
alert.
a skirt.
Oh my
yeah.
god, no doubt, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough outfit. Anytime somebody's wearing a baggy wife beater, trouble's afoot.
oh yeah.
Dude, by the way, it's open season on women, by the way. On fight videos, women are just getting clocked by dudes left and right. I mean, there's a pandemic. Actually, I've been wondering. I don't know if there's more kids fighting in schools and there's more ladies getting knocked out by dudes, or if it's just like everyone's recording all the time. We don't miss anything anymore. I'd have to do a study. But, dude, ladies, watch out, man. The dudes are done. Dudes are done putting up with your shit. I tried to warn bitch why. I tried to warn you. Go on the subreddit fight porn. I think like every like 6 videos like, no, he snapped, and it's just like a dude putting a lady's lights out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's like
Maybe
did he go too far? And it's like a woman, it's like a girl like smacking a dude in the back of the head while he's sitting in his desk, and then he stands up and like punches her, and she's like fully out with her arms out.
Damn. Maybe that's what John Jones was shooting for.
Yeah, well, he was kind of an OG for hitting ladies.
Yeah, he can get grandfathered in.
Yeah, he's suicidal, right?
He should be.
I don't know. Are like egomaniac millionaires
For that reason, no, he will not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is a narcissist, and like, there's no chance he would kill himself. He's gonna ride this out and just do everything that he's done so far. Make an Instagram video the next time he clocks her of him working out really hard, and then do the same thing with the picture of him and her kissing somewhere.
Yeah.
It's never gonna end until he fucking kills her.
Yeah, I think every time he hits a lady, well, this is my read. This is all conjecture, but like
An angel
when,
gets its wings.
yeah,
So you,
is someone dropping wings in front of a lady named Angel?
A plate of wings.
Yeah. I think those type of dudes with that level of success and like notoriety and stuff like that, I think when they punch a lady and they get in trouble, they're like, "You gotta be, you're gonna hassle me about this." Like they have no concept.
Do you even know what she did?
Yeah.
yeah, I think he's just a suicidal person. Period. I feel like so. My call is he's going to murder himself, but he's going to leave a note to have his brain studied, and they're going to look into it, and he's going to have no CTE. He's just a fucking douche.
No, he's gonna. No. What's was it phrenology? He's gonna have to have his head phrenology.
It turns out you're not black, you're OJ.
His angel wings are going to be fried hard. But I definitely can picture a suicide by cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like when he was riding around with his gun the one time, just like trying to be nice to homeless people. I felt like that was like a
Him
suicide
trying,
trip.
yeah, could have been.
I don't know. I thought he was like doing like reverse get out white conversion therapy. Just like open carrying a weapon. Yeah, he goes to like the Joe Rogan range and does like the Keanu Reeves training with assault rifle or ARs or whatever. I don't know. So who knows, dude? He could be. What's a reverse wigger?
Honky, man.
He could be a blonkie.
yeah.
Or he could be suicidal. I don't know. He's a strange bird. He's tough to pin down.
He's still young. He's like 30, right?
I think so, yeah.
Man, that's rough.
I hope he pulls it together. Who knows?
I hope his wife gets really good at fighting and just socks him and knocks him out. How great would that be if that was his first loss? Just his wife knocking him out at like fucking Shoney's.
Yeah, you can't go back from that. Like you can't. Like they're just gonna have to.
Well, you get suspended for 6 months. No contact.
Yeah, but I mean, like as a relationship, like when you're like beating your wife on a consistent basis,
And she gets one?
There's no like, oh, now I'm fixed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would always say my stepmom hates when I say this, but like I like in
I would fuck her up.
yeah. In fucking domestic abuse relationships, you know that when times are good, the guy overly tries to make it seem like times are really good. Like, hey, things are good. And I just think it's really inconsiderate if you hit your woman to ever try to play fight with her.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's just like I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen dudes that like beat the shit out of a woman, and then would be like, hey, you know, like
It works on little brothers though. You could beat the shit out of little brothers and then still like roughhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah, like stop! You always play too hard, dude.
Yeah, wives are essentially little mothers, so maybe that's what they're doing.
Dude, stop! Seriously, dude. If you abuse your wife, she takes on like white guy getting mad. She's like, dude, for real, stop, dude. I'm gonna get mad. She's like missing teeth. Dude, for real. Man. I got a big vibe I want to hit people with before we get off of the free one.
Well, we're kind of winding down if you want to hit them.
Yeah,
with it.
dude. We could pick this apart as we go through the story, but I just wanted to relay a beautiful experience I had as I enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I took my daughter to a show on Wednesday night.
Oh, nice.
We went and saw Quicksands. It's whatever. I never got to see them when I was younger, and now they're back. But we drove up to Asbury Park, went to the Stone Pony. My daughter's 13, and I have no idea what her actual opinion of me is. She like wants to dress like me and like listen to the same music, but I also was helping her find her phone one day, and I called it, and I looked at the screen, and I'm in her phone as gay. So it's a bit of a mystery to me. So I just keep trying to like show her stuff that I enjoy without like tricking her into thinking I'm cool, because I think that's the biggest mistake. I think if you try to convince your kids you're cool,
You're toast.
It's fucked up. Yeah. So I just I'll let her make fun of me. She thinks I'm old and gay, but I'll like, hey, do you want to come like do this thing that I enjoy? So I took her to this show, and she was familiar with Quicksand. We listened to them a lot in the car, and we go to the show, and I was on our way in. I was like, hey, just so you know, man, this is probably going to be a lot of sad old fat white guys in here. So just don't think anything of it. This is still cool, I promise. And god damn, it was sad old fat white guys, and she got a kick out of that. She was like, oh, dude, good call. These are all fucking dorks. And there's 3 bands. I tried to skip the first 1 or 2, customary for going to a show. Fucked it up, got there too early. We had to sit through all of them.
Tim, was that kind of feeling at a Quicksand show a sinking feeling?
Nice.
Thanks, buddy.
First band's three ladies, and they're playing like kind of like groovy 90s like
Chick sand?
distorted stuff. Yes, dude. So, but she's enjoying it. I'm like,
Cool.
oh, cool. And I'm doing the old guy thing where I'm just like, we're standing in the back, like against the sound booth with our arms crossed. And like I'm making tiny mistakes all night. And after the first band, she's like, can we go up front? And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even consider you might want to see the bands up front. I felt like a fucking asshole. But I was like, yeah, sure, let's go up. And we get through the second band was kind of cool. But then Quicksand comes on, and they're to me, they're like one of the coolest bands ever. My brother got me into them when I was like a little kid. Like the first cool band I ever got to listen to. And dude, it was the most like uninhibited good time she's ever had. Like she's like very 13, dude. She's so sarcastic. She's always guarded. She's always talking shit. And she was just like, she was so fully into this. And I didn't pressure her to get into it. I was just like, hey, look, I don't, take from this what you will. I just want to, I have no one to go to this with. And I think you might have a nice time. Dude, she had the fucking best time. I mean, we got to go to a show on a school night. And she had one song in mind that she wanted to hear. And when they played it, oh, by the way, but the whole time they're playing all their new stuff. They have this like these animated loops of like, very psychedelic art like playing, and it's projecting like onto them and onto the backdrop and stuff like that. It's so fucking cool. And then when they're playing their old stuff, they're like the art style changed. And then when they played the song that she was hoping for, they blasted like this like green hologram light into a disco ball and lit up the entire room.
Oh, neat.
It was so fucking cool. And I'm going to be riding this high for a very long time. It was just the nicest. It was like parenting wise, it was bigger for me than like the birth.
I get it
so
100%,
cool.
man. Dude,
Yeah.
do you feel like one of the biggest challenges, especially as your kids get older, and especially like, hitting that specific age, is just like every moment is like a constant struggle to relate. Like there's like it's constant like ground finding. Whereas like when they're up until maybe like fucking 11, you could literally do anything and it's fun with them.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty good at occupying when they're younger. I'm pretty good at like just like following what they want to do, right? And then I don't know when to flip the switch and like show them what I think is cool, and like, and how much do you even show them? Because then it's like, what am I gonna? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be like me. Well, I don't know how much I want them to want to be like me. You know what I mean? So I don't know how much I want to encourage that.
Yeah, but you're not like telling them to be like you. It's just like, oh, this is just something cool.
I think that's a natural apprehension for dads though. It's like when you see them starting to act like you're like, oh, dude, I made so many mistakes. So like I do. Maybe there's an opportunity to like course correct and like steer clear of like certain huge mistakes, and then you also have to let them make mistakes. The main thing that drives me right now is that there's a clock ticking in my head at all times, and it's like, dude, in like 5 years she's gonna leave. She's either gonna go to school, or she's so quick she's gonna figure out what she wants to do. I think pretty quickly. I've got like 5 years left before she's gone, so I'm like, I'm trying not to monopolize her time, but I'm also like, hey, if you want to see like cool stuff, we can do cool stuff.
Yeah.
But this was just a huge success, and that's
pretty sick.
I just wanted to hit the gang with an extremely positive vibe straight from my heart before we get off of this.
I'm glad you had that.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this too, because I like that experience, and then seeing Rainey take his 2 daughters out to a show in Colorado, like it made me look forward to when my daughters get to that age.
Oh yeah,
It is fun. We got into this on Two Jack Bros. It's out now, by the way. So put it out tonight. But it's when your kids are little, it's like you take so much for granted just because it's nonstop, the constant caretaking. But as they get older and start becoming self-sufficient, you're like, the realization starts to hit you like, oh fuck, like that's done. And especially like when you're done having kids, it's like, oh my god, like that's really done.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, I guess I gotta wait for fucking grandkids like a fucking dickhead to like have these kind of like little moments where like, you know, you're cutting up hot dogs real small or some shit like that, where it's just like it's something that's kind of a pain in the ass as you're doing it, but you're just like, oh fuck, I wish I could. I might eat my hot dogs cut up a little now, just to reminisce.
Yeah. I feel really lucky, man. It's awesome.
But to what you did with Lucy, like to me, like that's like where the real fun comes in. Is like the shifting of like figuring things like that out. It's like, oh shit, like this is just a cool thing that I thought would be cool, and then it happens and it's cooler than you could ever fucking think. So now you have something to tack on and to like have like as a shared experience to say like, okay, well maybe she'll like this now.
Yeah.
I also too like that, you know, you're laying out a healthy way for them to like share an experience with a dude for later on in life. Like if they're if she.
Oh, I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I don't mean to put anybody's business out there, but when your daughter was going on a road trip and then she like parted ways when things didn't.
Did you talk about that on Two Jack Bros?
No,
but she told me
it was a private conversation.
Yeah, she told me that. So I mean, and I'll just stop there, you know. But I thought that was such a fucking mature thing to do, you know. And not having a father like you, she probably would have, as women would do, is just like grit her teeth and bear it and fucking
thrown herself on the ground and
and
grabbed his knife.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, like dude. I mean, that Gabby Petito chick should have left that fucking road trip plenty of time, I'm sure. You know, at least the one time when the police were called.
Yeah.
Right? But it's she had a dad and a stepdad kind of in her life, so like maybe nobody was really.
They're both like, you know what I mean, like hesitating to jump in. Yeah.
I think that's the best you could do for kids. Like, for example, like my son's 11, starting to get into Stained.
Oh.
And I'm like, dude, you're gonna want to get your lip pierced, and when you get a girlfriend, you're gonna threaten to kill yourself in front of her. I get it, man, but there's a different way to do things.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks, man. I don't know how to make this funny, but like, I don't know where to turn for like parenting advice aside from like you. And there's nothing out there for like.
I feel the same way.
I just don't agree with like so much of what is commonly accepted. I just don't agree with it.
And well, on top of what's commonly accepted too, I think like guys that would be like ROGs, like which I guess would be our dads and like anybody their age, parenting has changed so much since them. Whereas like I don't feel like there was that much of a drastic change from their generation to them.
Yeah.
Like with us, like we just understand so much more, and I think we're just more receptive and more not only receptive but just more expressive of feelings.
Yeah.
Whereas like this is the first generation to really do that.
This is why I'm in her phone.
So that's a
is
game
gay.
changer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be a resource. I know people reach out to us all the time. Are like, damn, dude, you guys make me want to be a dad, or like I look forward to. We have people like, I have a kid on the way, dude. You guys make me fucking more pumped on it. If that's all I am to people, if no one thinks I'm funny and that's all I am, I think I already feel like I'm fulfilling like a purpose.
Take your kids to concerts, and if you're a new father, let the baby crowd surf. People will probably be cool.
Yeah, stop being a bitch. Let the baby crowd surf.
Yeah.
It is fun. Like shit like that really reminds you, because there are periods where you just feel as though it's nonstop caretaking, and it's like, fuck, man. Like I remember thinking, like when the kids were like little, just thinking like having to load kids into the car, having to remember formula, having to like buckle everybody in. There were times where it's just like, fuck, man, I cannot wait till they can do other things, and then the other things happen, and you're like, all right, this is kind of cool, but then it's like you realize you're getting further away from being needed.
Did you ever, because you didn't feel like dealing with a fucking car seat, just choose not to go?
I went and I just didn't buckle the car.
Maybe it was because I had twins at the time, because I never really felt that way with Finn. But like, man, there were like times when I would just like not fucking go somewhere. You know,
I did have 2 kids in diapers at the same time at one point, and that was the worst.
My God.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
But dude, I like, this might be way too traditional, but best decision I ever made was having Mary Jo stay home, full-time mom.
Yeah.
Financial struggle, barely made it, but that was easily the best move.
No
if
doubt,
if you're gonna have kids, dude, consider an extremely traditional marriage. I know it's supposed to be like awful and gay now, and it's like, you know, she can get a job whenever she wants, but this is, I think, it is a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, it's the best. Having a parent at home kind of like solidifies the family themes, the motifs, and like the
That's a good
So
point.
I think when you're parenting, the kids should almost be like following you around at work until they're ready to go to like whatever you consider education. Like they should be seeing what you do to like provide, because we can't hunt anymore. And I hate to sound like a fucking Jeep guy, but like the way that like we evolved was like, you know, the kid kind of either kicked around with the mom all day, or you know, at a certain point the dad was like, yo, we have to go figure out food right now.
I just automatically pictured you sitting here, in a baby in a swing, watching you talk about cum. So I don't know.
What do you think we were doing around fires 100,000 years ago?
Carving cum into fucking caves.
Making cum paintings on the wall.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, though. I feel like kids should see their parents work hard and solve problems without complaining. Like, because it's one thing to have your kids see you work, but like if you're one of those fucking bitch ass complaining
Dude,
workers,
okay, so this is where I was actually going with that. It was like, I was just saying I don't agree with the way like most of the established like parenting methods, but like so many people that I've like have worked with, they just want to get their kid out of the way so that they can work themselves to death, and then they'll like catch up at dinner time and shit like that. And like, dude, it had like, I was on like a very intense emergency work call one time, like almost a year ago, and I had Fritz with me, and there was nothing else for me to do with him. Mary Jo was tied up. I had my 4-year-old on the couch with me, and he was kind of just like talking while I was on like a crowded, not a crowded, it was a one-on-one video call, and this fucking dude who got fired, fuck off, dude. He was like, do you want to take care of that? like I was gonna do something about my 4-year-old, just like, Dad, what's up? Dad, I kind of watch TV. And I was like, dude, you're calling me in the middle of the night. You're gonna deal with this. What the fuck do you want? So
yeah,
I don't miss that guy, but I'm surrounded by that, and I don't feel like I'm floundering. I feel like I'm figuring things out, and I'm just so happy to share.
I'm glad you did, man, because like hearing people excited about like stuff like that is part of like what makes it fun. Like I remember McCusker saying something similar. You and McCusker like were talking about it, about how lame it is when dads aren't excited about kids. You know, like seeing like a dad at the park that's just like, fuck,
dude.
this.
That was what I saw at Ocean City Boardwalk today. When we went to the theme Adventureland, whatever, Wonderland.
Anyway, at the end of the boardwalk.
Yeah. So it was like a little theme park with like roller coasters and shit, and it was the Eagles game was on, and they were playing the Eagles game over the PA system on the radio. and every dad in the park, and the Eagles were losing, so every dad in the park had their hands in their pockets and were just looking at their shoes, just like, fuck, dude, get rid of the ball. Get rid of the fucking ball. And there's just, kids being completely ignored while dads are just like, Sports Center, ESPN.
So
What's Hurts doing?
I saw some dad shit today that really got to me. So my kids are doing their races. They're back up again. So every Sunday through the month of October, they're doing these races. So Finn was in the mile, right? And Finn's a really coachable kid, and he doesn't.
I thought you said your kids were doing the racists.
I did too. Like,
yeah. I
just screaming at
apologize.
cops.
I apologize. So yeah, they're racing again.
Okay.
And he's doing the mile. This is his first time. He did the half mile last season. They were doing this, and so he was being very coachable, listening to everything that I was telling him to do about keeping his pace and increasing it going forward. And anytime I was telling him something, he'd be like, "Yes, Dad," or it was fucking sick, And he goes, so at one point I was telling him, I was like, "Listen, I know it's hurting, but that's what this race is. What you can control is what's in your mind. Stay positive and just think, go. Bodies fail all the time, right?" And he says, "Yes, Dad." And then you could see his posture change. I didn't have to tell him to fix this for him. I told him that, and then he just fixed it all himself, right? And I see these dads seeing the way that I'm talking to my son, and what they want is for their son to duplicate.
They're trying to do. They're like, Caden, what Sidney was saying.
I wish, man, because they see the results and they want the results. So now they're trying to yell at their son to do stuff, and it's like, well, he just fucking fixed it. He's like, and it's like, dude, that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it got so bad because Finn, the plan was for him to go.
Finn's
out.
also putting a pace on these boys.
Yeah, that's what he's steadily increasing this ridiculous pace,
stomping
and
them down.
just eating people off the track. You know what I mean? And he's finally about to pass the guy that's in first. And he does, and they have a whole lap left. And the dad is just giving this kid an earful. And the whole entire time, I'm just like, before Finn even got here, I'm like, dude, I love you. I love that you're doing your best right now. That's all that we came here for. We don't care about winning. Just keep this up. When you get done, you will feel so satisfied because you're doing your best right now. And then he's finally passing this guy, and the dad's just fucking laying into him. And then I had to stop.
Did his dad throw the hat on the ground?
Yeah, I stopped paying attention to him because I felt like I was going to go say something to him, and I'm trying to not. I don't want to confront this guy in front of his son after he was demoralizing his son this way, and then to find out, oh, also my dad's a bitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm really calculating all of this stuff. So I start talking to the kid, and I go, "Listen, kid, you are doing a great job. Phenomenal. You went out really hard. You did your best to keep that pace up, and you're still in this race right now." And he started because I was telling at one point I was telling my son to smile, so he started smiling. I was like, "That's right. You heard me smile. Man. Keep the smile up. Stay positive. No reason. Listen."
Did you accidentally make him catch up to Finn, and you're like, "Oh, Finn, I love you more."
Nah, Finn put the hammer down.
Yeah.
Finn was like. Finn was like a distant memory to that kid. He was like, there was another person in this race. But he finished, that kid finished strong and was able to hold his head up high. But it was and I just completely ignored that dad from that point on.
Was there any point where you consider yelling to that child, they don't want to arrest you, they just want to take you to a different place?
Yeah, dude, I wish that his dad said something to
Dog,
him.
that is something that I thought about a lot recently, and coaching in jiu-jitsu has made me realize that because everything was screaming. Every child sporting event was just men screaming at you for the longest time. And it wasn't until getting into jiu-jitsu where I've never, well, I shouldn't say never seen, but 95% of children's jiu-jitsu coaches, you'll never hear their fucking yelling voice. And that completely changed the way that I think about coaching youth sports, because it just never occurred to me that oh, you shouldn't yell.
Yeah, well, I also think that jiu-jitsu kids end up being more prepared than a lot of other sports kids. Every kid gets so much individual attention. The coach knows exactly what they're good at.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's just fucking swing, swing at the ball.
And also, there's more real life repercussions in jiu-jitsu than any other sport. You can't fool yourself in jiu-jitsu. You know if you suck and you know if you're good. Whereas like with like, you know, football, people can convince you you're the man, even though you might do some good shit, and there might not be anybody there to humble you. Whereas in jiu-jitsu, somebody's going to fuck you up at some point, and it's inevitable. Yeah. And if it's not somebody, you know, it's
a training partner.
Yes, somebody
opponent.
will. Yeah, and if it's not, and if your training partners can't do it, I think like a good coach will put it on you.
You know,
You know.
Yeah.
I love smashing up a kid every once in a while.
I was teaching Finn the phrase "live by the sword, die by the sword" today,
Yeah.
and we used he came up with the example of jiu-jitsu. It's like if you do jiu-jitsu, you're submitting people, but you're also going to get submitted.
He made
Right.
Sid cry. He was like, "Dad, can we watch Blade together?"
All right, let's switch over to the Patreon.
Yeah,
now.
before we do, I just want to talk about Two Jack Bros real quick before we go, dude.
Thank you.
Watch Two Jack Bros on YouTube. It's I mean, the production quality is climbing every day. You're
You
making
mean the production quality?
Damn.
Yeah, Mike.
Got him.
Sid, the tweaks to the formula that you're making every week are critically effective. I think you're just making it easier for people to appreciate, and I think that bears in everything that you're doing right now.
Thank you so much for saying that, man.
I was happy to be on it. I can't
Dude.
wait to watch Mike's.
I loved it.
These are transformative for people.
Dude, I put it on Facebook when I said this, but I want to have you hear it again. That might have been the most fun I've ever had on somebody else's podcast.
Dude, thank you so much.
It was
Like,
that much fucking fun.
Yeah, and I really appreciate like the enthusiasm that you guys have for help, because you know, again, we just want to be of service to people too, you know, and
Well, that's kind of our thing, but no, it's cool that you got it.
yeah, but it's, you know, like before, you know, we were just trying to do it strictly through like letting people experience our vibe, you know, like, hey, we're good people that are good to each other,
Right? Yeah.
This is how it can, you know, not to say how to be like us, but we wanted more. We wanted to
Right,
be able to
yeah.
touch people in a different way, in a more impactful way. And I appreciate your enthusiasm for being on the podcast and doing your episodes both couldn't have been more perfectly what this show was designed to be.
Well, trust me when I say it works both ways. Like, I don't do something unless it makes my dick, mouth, or spirit feel good.
Fuck.
So, you made one of those feel good yesterday. Just know that.
Disappointed. I wish I want the trifecta. I was hoping for the trifecta. Yeah, but these are fun, man. Doing this with the guests and letting the guests like touch. Man, it's awesome. It's just awesome the way there has not been a single episode that I haven't heard something that I'm going to use for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope for me it's me saying the N-word in Spanish.
Well,
Yeah, switch over to the Patreon. If you're not a patron yet, go to patreon.com/dadmeatpodcast. You pay whatever the fuck you want. Come over there, have fun with us. We'll be over there in about 10 minutes. Check out Tim's Twitch channel. It's twitch.com/TimButterly. Check out Two Jack Bros. And also check out Little Stinkers. It's my new podcast with Del Calo and Jake, who's currently been kidnapped. We're going to get him, though. But if you like serial killer shit, we always cover fucked up people who also happen to be very funny. So check that out. And, yeah, we'll see you over the Patreon in a few minutes.
fuck yeah.
Later,
Thank
guys.
you.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'm just